Each year, the Florida Farm Bureau recognizes state legislators that support policy initiatives that are critical to our state's farmers and ranchers and help Florida Farm Bureau achieve its policy objectives.
I am Senator Jay Collins, and I'm blessed to represent Senate District 14, which is Hillsborough County, right here in Tampa Bay. When I sat back and I looked and observed at what it is that we're dealing with, it's not so simple as, hey, here's a magic button that we have to deal with, right? There are short, mid, and long-term things at stake here that are causing issues for our farmers. And that's where we came up with the concept of stabilizing, revitalizing, growing. Ultimately, I'm a Green Beret. That's where I grew up, right? That's what I did. And I look at things tactically, operationally, and strategically. This is the same way. When you revitalize, it's just that. The average farmer's age is 57 years old. We've got to drop that. We've got to draw more talent in, and we've got to start creating the farms of tomorrow, today. You got to have food, right? And if we're reliant on other nations for our food product, where do you think that's going to go economically, strategically? That's something we can never get back once it's gone. And we owe it to our future, frankly, for this state, for our country, and most assuredly for our families, to make sure that we understand we have to protect it and preserve it now for those national security issues so we can keep growing agriculture. We depend on that to feed ourselves and feed our families and ultimately feed the nation. I grew up on a farm. I would be there now, but we lost it. Coming out of the Carter years and into the 80s with drought and everything else, we couldn't make it. They made a family decision to sell it, and it led me to where I'm at. But it changed everything about my family. I lived that. I watched their loss. I understand those feelings. I don't want that to happen to anybody else. I believe the DAX package and the other legislation we did make a difference in that and ultimately move the bar forward and help make sure that we, as a state, don't lose our agriculture, which obviously is a huge part of our economy now and into the future.
As chair of the Senate Agriculture Committee, Farm Bureau member Senator Jay Collins worked tirelessly on behalf of the agriculture industry, running Senate Bills 1164 and 1184. Senate Bill 1164 is a multifaceted package that includes the Farm Team Card. This card is meant to provide a more streamlined process for producers to receive the agricultural sales tax exemptions they are given in our state.
It is important to have legislators that understand the value of agriculture. You know, I think Senator Collins understands the fact that food security equals national security, and he's passionate about that, especially with his Green Beret background, his military service and sacrifice for this country. And because of that, he understands that there is a benefit that comes from agriculture, and he wants to be that voice because he knows it protects our people and also provide for our people. Senate Bill 1164 had several components to it, several different parts to it. One of the most important parts or components for our members was the team card. That was a very important tool for our producers, our members, to be able to utilize for securing the tax exemptions that were due them. And I think that's an extremely important thing. It makes it easier, it simplifies the process. And for 1164 to go through with the team card was very, very helpful to our producers.
The impact of those legislative bills is going to be great, ultimately. When you look at the Florida First aspect of that, rewarding our farmers and utilizing their products first, I think that's something we should be doing. Farm card in the DAX package is going to be great. Ultimately making sure that there isn't a long process to get those tax-exempt items taken care of. That's what we should do, right? Whether people realize it or not, we're all tied to ag. We eat. We rely on what farmers produce. It's the root of everything in our family. It's the hierarchy of needs. If you don't have food, you don't have water, you don't have anything you need, and that's agriculture. At our base, we are dependent on agriculture to sustain, to live. So we should all be invested, and we are all tied to agriculture because of that.
Senator Collins asks the hard questions and is not afraid to tackle any issue head on. We could not be more thankful for his commitment to Florida agriculture.
I can tell you that we have great people fighting every day for our farmers, and I'm blessed to work with them. I am so grateful for the opportunity and the honor that you're giving me. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for believing that we're doing it for the right reasons, and we're gonna keep doing more.